Okay, so our goal is to find the midpoint of QR. Um, so for the midpoint formula, conceptually speaking, if you want to remember it, just think of drawing XY axis right here, and let's just use some pretend points right now. So let's use this point right here, 2, 4, and this point right here, 8, 10. And let's figure out what the coordinate of the middle of the line connecting those 2 points would be. Like what would that coordinate be right there? Well, do you know what this coordinate is right here? What's that coordinate? 8, 4, you say. Then he says, no, no, no. Huh? Well, I know that it has to be the same as this one, right? You got to go the same x value as that. But then you got to go the same, so you have to go the same x value as that, but then you have to go the same y value as that. See, 210. So that's 2. No, of course I didn't draw this to scale, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. So there's 10, there's 4, and there's 2, and then there's 8. It would have been better if I didn't draw the tick marks, to be honest. Okay. You with me? Alright, so this is what, 1 up here? 2, 10. Alright. Yeah. Okay, so do you know, let's talk about the distance between these 2 points. Alright, so what's the halfway distance? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay, so you're saying do 10? No. 10 minus 2. So think of it in terms of this distance right here, right? In fact, you can look at these numbers right here. Look at which are these numbers right here, right? Yeah. So you're gonna go. You could one way to think of it is do big number minus little number. Right? It's 10 minus 4. All right, that gives you the distance, which would be 6. Then what do you do from there? In the middle, uh-huh. How'd you get that? By, so you got 3, so divide by 2. Okay, right. So what you found was you did 10 minus 4, which is 6, 6 over 2, which is 3. But then what you would have to do is you would have to count 3. You have to go from here, right, and then go 1, 2, 3, which is here. And then if you go 1, 2, 3, you'll confirm that that's halfway. And we know that this spot point right here, which is 7, right, 4, 5, 6, is a halfway point because it's 3 up from 4. But a cooler way is to actually get a number that is the coordinate. So you don't have to actually count up. Like it'd be nice to do the math and actually get 7 as the answer. Right? So it's with respect to 0, not with respect to 4. Right? So you can just be like, bam, I go straight to 7. And the way you do that, you're just going to go the average of 1 point. You take the average of the 2 points basically. So just take the average value. So instead of doing it like this, take the average. All right, so you're going to go 10. Well, what is the average? How do you take the average? Do you know? No, like let's say you have like I have 1, 2, 3, 4 jelly beans, and you have 1, 2, wait, you have blue ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 jelly beans. What is our average number of jelly beans? Together. Like on average, how many jelly beans does each person have, I guess you could say? 5. How'd you figure that out? Okay, you say one has less than 5, one has more. That's true. Or you could also say there's 10 total, right? So 10, so divided by the number of people that have jelly beans, which is 2. So to show the work here, that's kind of a dumb example. So put 4 plus 6 over 2 is 5. So each person has an average of 5, right? So in terms of grades, that's a way better example. In terms of grades, let's say you have um, like B's on A's, B's and C's. So A is worth like 4 points, B is worth 3 points, and C is worth 2 points. So let's say you have a class where you got uh, 2 A's, 1 B, and 1 C. What's your GPA? Your grade point average. How do you work that out? Add, add them up, then divide by 3. So you're going to do, well, how many total grades do we have, though? 4 grades. All right, so what numbers are we going to add up? Yeah, 4 grades. So 4 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2, right? Divided by total number of classes, which is what? 4. Okay, cool. And then bust that out right there. We get 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Did you get 13? 8, 9, 10, 12, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, 13 over 4, right? Punch down a calculator. 13 over 4. 13 over 4. And you get 3.25, which is a B. It's a little bit over, like, it's basically a B average. A solid B. Probably maybe the B minus category. Not just kidding the B minus part. B minus would be under 3. Yeah, it's in the 3. Just below B plus. Yo, B plus is no wait. Yeah, a B plus is like a 3.3, I believe. And then I think so. And then a A minus is a 3.7. Okay. You get that? All right. So now let's take the average of our points. Take the average of our endpoint. And so that way, if we do that, we're going to get it with respect to 0. And we're going to get right on that number right there. So we're using our 10 and 4 example so we can get our like average y value. So how do you get the average of 10 and 4? So 10 plus 4 divided by 2. All right, so 14 divided by 2. And what did we get? 7. Bam. See that? Boom. All right, so that means that this coordinate, whatever it may be, has a y value of 7. Okay? Now, let's look at over here. let's look at, draw a line like that. And what is this coordinate right there? 8, 4, okay? 8, 4. All right, correct. And I'm trying to find this middle value right there. Right, so what we just did earlier is the average y value. Can you see that right now? I'm working on the average x value. Do you see that? That right now what we're working on is the average x value. That we're working on the midpoint x value. Okay, so we could do it the longer way, which is doing what? Well, you'd have to find you find the distance between the two of them, but then you'd have to scoot over by that many points. You find the distance over 2 and divide by 2 and scoot over, or you can do it the direct way. All right, so let's do the, yeah, you add what? 8 and 2. All right, so you're going to add 8 and 2, and then what? All right, so you're basically going to do the average of the x. Average x. All right, so you're going to do 8 plus 2 divided by what? 2. All right, so 10 divided by 2 is 5. So that tells me that right here is 5, which also tells me that is 5. You see that? All right, so now let's do it like the way that you should do it. So let me just erase all this stuff. Hold on a second. All right, so for this one, you're going to find your midpoint. And what I do, you get a visual, is I just put the points anywhere. It doesn't really matter. Like, you don't have to put them in their proper locations. So I'll just put the Q here, 11, 5. And then for this one, I guess that's just terrible. For the sake of teaching, I'll put it kind of where it should be. All right, so so Q is 11, 5, and then the other one is 18, negative 10. But okay, so like there, sure, there, R, 18, negative 10. If I was taking a test, I would literally just go. You probably could just do it from here, but you could just go like Q is 11, 5, and R, wherever, R is 18, negative 10. Just put them wherever, or over here, or they don't have to. Okay. And you just have to do so the midpoint is the average of the x, the average of the y. It's going to be average x, average y. I mean, you don't have to draw a grid or anything. You can just do it from the problem itself. All right, so average x, average y. All right, so how do you figure out the average x? Okay, we'll do from up here. So look into x values, which are what? 11 and 18, all right. And what do we do from there? 11 plus 18, then do what? Divide by 2. Comma, now what do we do? Okay, so 5. Yep, 5 plus negative 10. I'll just do it like that. Over what? 2. Bam. All right, so now you have 11 plus 18. What's that going to be? 29. All right, so over here we have 29 over 2, comma. 5 plus negative 10, which is the same thing as 5 minus 10, which is what? Negative 5 over 2. And I think for these types of problems, or in algebra, you can just leave it as a fraction. It's all good. Unless it says write as decimal. Oh, it does say write as decimal. Okay, say 5, write as decimal. So then over here, 29 over 2, what's that going to be? 14.5. And negative 5 over 2, is that going to be? Negative 2.5. You are correct. Man. All right, hold on one second. Yeah, and that's right. Any questions on that? And that concludes our lesson of how to find the midpoint formula. I mean, not how to find the midpoint formula. How to find the midpoint using the midpoint formula, which is what is the midpoint formula? Did I even say the midpoint formula? Kind of, right? It's right here. Okay, let's write down the midpoint formula. Midpoint formula, because here's a formula. Midpoint formula is x1 plus x2 over 2, comma what? y1 plus y2 over 2. And this often gets confused with the slope formula, right? Which is y2 minus y1. But the slope formula over x2 minus x1, but the slope formula is rise over run. This has to do with average of points. Average like x value, comma, average of y. So if you understand what the midpoint actually is, that's just add an average of 2 points, and you won't confuse it with the slope formula. Because they're often confused. Okay, got that?